Math, liars figure, but math doesn't lie. Math doesn't lie. I can tell you a few other little nasty little things that are happening. Here's planet Earth. Here's North Korea. 2 years ago, they detonated two atomic bombs, right? Those that did their homework. Okay, these things went off. It was 5 days apart. 140 miles off of Chile. They had a 9.5, biggest earthquake recorded in the history of keeping earthquakes. What they did is they set up a shock wave with the first one, which traveled through the earth, hit this line here, and then went like this, and through the magma created a 9.5 in Chile. That was a bump. The second one popped it. Okay, when it popped the Chile one, that was on the Ring of Fire for the Pacific Ocean. The shock wave then comes back off of this thing as it's ricocheting back over, takes out Christchurch, South Island of New Zealand, then causes a volcano 18,000 feet under the water, bigger than Krakatoa, to explode, creating a 6-foot tsunami. That was all. Nobody died in that because it was 3 miles underwater. This is on the Ring of Fire. And then when the shock wave comes all the way back up and focuses, it hits the trench outside of Japan, creating a 9 on the Richter scale, creating the tsunami, which then took out 3 nukes on the coast, which are dumping 11,000 tons of plutonium radioactive water, 2 million times more potent than it takes to kill a person, into the Pacific Ocean now since the tsunami took place, to keep the cores from going China syndrome. They still haven't got that thing under control. It's still burning out of control. And they pump 11,000 tons of radioactive plutonium water on this thing every day. This isn't made public to the public. There's very little of this is public. Satellite photos in, I think it was April, showed that they're drilling a hole 27,000 feet deep. The first nuke put a crack in the earth. The second nuke was they were able to use the second atomic bomb to identify magma, shock wave through magma. They can target through a shape charge any country on the planet with a shape charge through magma. There's a no-fly zone over North Korea, so their air force is useless. But the magma, they can go anywhere on the planet through magma. This was an experiment in a country, the Chile, which is totally... Okay, when Chile got hit, Chile was raised 15 feet as the Pacific plate slid underneath Chile. When the magma came back, it raised the Asian plate 15 feet, including the island of Japan was raised 15 feet as the Pacific plate flattened out and moved underneath. And Hawaii, which is dead center in the middle, dropped 1 foot. Hawaii has a 40,000 cubic mile magma pool underneath it, which created and Volcano National Park cracked a hole 1 mile across and created a 1,000-foot wide pool of lava that rose up 8,600 feet from the base through the mountain. It then blew out a vent 60 feet in diameter at 8 miles per hour, moving magma into the south end of the island, pouring it out into the ocean, creating what's called VOG, V-O-G, volcanic fog, which is silicosis, fibers into the air. It's really, really, really agitating to your lungs when you inhale this stuff. I was there 2 weeks ago and I got a lungful of it. I was sick for 3 days. I was only 20 minutes in the fog. I was driving along and I got some in my lungs and made me sick. Anyways, the island dropped 1 whole foot. And this is all recorded on oscilloscopes that measure magma shock waves. Huh?
All the Hawaiian Islands dropped?
Yeah, the entire middle of the plate dropped, but it cracked open the volcano. And the VOG got really bad after that. Okay, they're drilling the second hole now, and they got a hydrogen bomb going into it. This is 100 times bigger than the atomic bombs. They found that as a result, they found a fissure in the crust of the earth in North Korea. And they're drilling a hole down in this fissure. They detonate a hydrogen bomb, and now we have a new math problem that shows up. Here's the 43rd parallel, North Korea. 43rd parallel, San Francisco. 43rd parallel, London. If they do a shape charge, and then from the top, it looks like this. Here's the North Pole. Here's San Francisco, and here's London, and London, and here's North Korea with a K. 120-degree angles. Liars figure, but figures don't lie. And on the 43rd, as a shape charge, they can bounce the magma at 120-degree angles and hit the San Andreas. Guess what happens when you hit the San Andreas fault? You got Mount Rainier, which is 40 years past due from its standard 40-year or 38-year eruption. You got Hood, York, and Shasta, all in a straight line, right on the Pacific. You can take Seattle and Portland and write them off. No place to go. The cloud from the 4 volcanoes would be devastating. San Francisco, that would be, you could write that one off. A tsunami would take out Hawaii from San Francisco in a 9.5 or bigger. It would take out Honolulu, which is at sea level, like 1 foot above sea level. And the shape charge going through the magma would hit the gates in London and flood London, taking out the subway systems. And then that would create a tsunami which would hit New York City, which is 4 feet above sea level, and take out New York City, Manhattan Island. And if they miss and they hit Yellowstone, then you got a super volcano 40 miles by 60 miles going off, taking out 2/3 of the United States. All one big dust cloud. So I did this presentation for 2 3-star generals and 1 2-star general for the Russian military, for the Chinese military 6 weeks ago. The one general got sick. They had to take him to the hospital as soon as I got done with this. Somebody knew something. Now there's a side effect, and that's the secondary shock wave. Secondary shock wave takes out Hong Kong with 100 million people.